Hello, everybody. Steve Lentini. I'm CEO of Lord and Lentini Training, Training for Life, the best getting better. So all the people that work with me for more than 20 years are the best and getting better and have significant testimonials to prove it. Just reach out to me on my website, stevelentini.com, SteveLentini.com, and glad to give you some people to talk to about my work. But today I wanted to talk to you about what dying taught me about life. So on November 13th, 2002, I was doing a seminar. 1 second I was fine. The next second I needed an ambulance. And I was grateful from the moment I get in the ambulance. I had been studying the power of gratitude, and I can tell you the attitude of gratitude is an amazing attitude, right? It attracts, a grateful heart attracts great things. And there's been just amazing, wonderful experiences in my life since I studied and practiced the power of gratitude. And so in that moment, November 13th, it was probably 3:30 in the afternoon, 4 o'clock. I had to be rushed to a hospital, and I, as it turned out, had blockage in my pancreas. And on the fifth day, two friends were visiting me. They later shared with me that I had flatlined. Uh, well, let me tell you the story quickly. So that day, November 18th, it was a Monday. I woke up. I was in and out of consciousness that day. I was in intensive care from November 13th on. And that was the fifth day in. And 1 second I was there with my two friends at the end of the bed. The next second I was somewhere else. Now, all that day I had been in and out of consciousnness. They reported later I was waving my hands like I was directing a symphony, and that a hospice nurse had come in and said, "Hey, I'm in hospice as well as working in the intensive care, and you should stay with him today because he's waving his hands like some of my hospice patients do, that they tend to arrange things before they pass away." And later that day, again, I was with them in and out of consciousness up to that moment. I was with them, and then I was in pure consciousness. It's all I can describe it as. I knew I was one with everything and nothing all at the same time, and that there was no body, right? So it's amazing. And from that, I went to a life review, and only the good I had done, the lives I had touched, the lives and people I had helped flashed before me. And of course, family that had passed before me, and all the good things that I had done. So when you do good, it etches itself on the fabric of time. So only the good I had done. Then I'm asked a question: stay or go? And I said, "Thy will be done," immediately. And I don't think I had ever surrendered to the moment like that so fully, meaning to the present. So here's what I learned. A couple things I noted. Number one, there was no past or future. There was only the now. And I couldn't string the events together until I got back in my body. Right. So after I said, "Thy will be done," I was immediately back in my body, back in the hospital room. And so I could not string the events together till I got back in my body. So the now is where the divine is, right? But we reject it because there's certain cast of characters or situations that don't match our plans, or they don't match the people we like. And what we don't understand is that's also part of the divine. People go searching for God or the goddess or the divine, whatever they want to call it. It doesn't matter. By the way, it had no name. I think the Tao Te Ching, Lao Tzu said, "You cannot name that which has no name." And that was what I experienced. So I'm not in my body. I'm pure consciousness. I know that I'm one with everything and nothing all at the same time. I'm one with the limitless. And then there's a life review, and then I'm asked, stay or go. But I couldn't string all those events together till I got back in my body. And here's what they taught me. Number one is pure consciousness is where we come from and where we go back to. Number two is that you have a knowing. That's all. You have a knowing. It just comes to you, right? So people have all these images that they say they see, and that's fine. I'm sure they do. But there's also an experience where you can just be on the other side and know you're on the other side. Nothing from here was there. It was not a land of opposites. Amazing, right? So everything was one. That was the other thing I learned. There's no male, no female, no up, down, no religions, no It doesn't care about all that. That's human, small-minded, acorn brain thinking. I call it the acorn brain, the little tyrant. That's small-minded thinking, judging all the different people and types of people and their preferences and their political party and all their choices means nothing on the other side. And it's wasted energy here to judge anything other than to learn things, right? So, and especially the things that bug us, the people and things that bother us are actually God in disguise, the divine showing up to help us stretch and grow, to get beyond that small-minded, judgmental thinking. And you'll see it all around you, and you'll know if you're honest with yourself that you have it yourself. And it's you have no choice. You're not part of it when you're out of your body, by the way. When you're one with pure consciousness, none of that comes with you. When you go back in your body, it shows up again. I can tell you that, right? So I'm one with everything and nothing. In the moment is where the divine is. Even the cast of characters now, as I get back, I can see the universe has a sense of humor in all the cast of characters that come to help me stretch and grow, to learn things about myself that I do not know. It's easy to be with the people that love us and we love, and to be in all the situations we agree with, but it's not so easy to be in all the things we don't agree with. That's the divine showing up to get us to grow, get us to accept them and to love them and to just negotiate, right? A difference of opinion is an invitation to negotiation. That's what it's about. And that's how we grow, by compromise. So then there was the life review, and only the good that I had done was mentioned, because that's all that can exist in the face of that wonderful light. Darkness cannot exist in the face of light. Evil is not, God's not interested in evil. The eternity, the infinite, the divine, the goddess, it doesn't matter what you call it, it's not interested in the evil. We pay here. This is a cause and effect world. You do something bad here, you're going to get bad energy back. It's going to happen. And you know what? It's small-minded thinking that you'll pay for your mistakes here and burn in hell forever. It's small-minded thinking. Get over it. Get over yourself. And go beyond, right? Break beyond that and allow people to make their mistakes, and don't worry about where they'll pay for it. They'll pay for it. Your job is, if it involves you, is to forgive them, is to overcome that small-minded feeling of revenge and anger and bitterness. Overcome that. It may take time, and I understand it. And I've had things myself that have happened in life that today I know forgiveness was my job, and that's what I've done. And so there is no past or future, right? So it was the now, from the now to the now to the now. That's what, when I got back in my body, that's how I knew the now is where the divine is, because there was nothing else there, by the way. There was nothing else there. And then I was asked, stay or go, and I had not surrendered like that to the moment. And that's where I learned the power of surrender. Be in the moment. Surrender in the now is where the divine is. And when you fight it, I think Eckhart Tolle says it well. When you fight life, life fights you. And he also says, which makes me laugh, a lot of people think reality is nuts, meaning it's here now. Why fight it? Accept it. Find a way to move beyond it. That's moving into the limitless thinking, instead of having the small-minded brain run you into reaction because you don't agree with someone's beliefs, their religion, or their politics, or maybe their sexual preferences. It's all crazy. Love them all. That's your job. And that's what you'll find out when you leave your body. And so people say to me, well, Steve, how do you know that that's what happened? Well, I didn't say anything, quite frankly, for about 5 weeks. I was in the hospital a long time, a total of 100 days. 60 days straight, and then another 40 or so in and out of the hospital. But I had 2 friends that came to visit me a lot. One was named Warren, the other Janice. They came to visit me a lot. And finally, after 4 or 5 weeks, I asked them, hey, there was a day I was with you two, in and out of consciousness. And then there was a moment, and they both said, yes, that was Monday, the 18th, around 2 o'clock, like 2-ish, or in the afternoon. I said, how do you know? They said the nurses and doctors came running in and said, out, this is it, call his family. And then later on came back when they were allowed back in the room. And so I knew that, except I didn't want to say anything because I figured people would say I was nuts. Why me? Why did I get a second chance at life? Well, I tell the story, and people have said for 16 years, why don't you write about it? All I've done, you can find me on Facebook talking about it. What I do is I talk about it, and I encourage people to become one with that non-judgmental, limitless thinking in the now, and that when the now brings you people that bug you, remember, don't react. Is embrace them, find out what they're ask what the question what they're here to teach you, and it might not be to them, but ask for the lesson because they're bringing you a gift. They're bringing you a gift, but it's not wrapped the way you like it, and it's not exactly what you wanted, right? That's small-minded thinking. Usually the plan that shows up is better than your plan, and the people that come to teach you that bug you have a bigger lesson than the people who love you, which are both good. They're both good. They're all good. And remember not to judge people. They will experience negative if they put out negative energy. Your job is you. You control you. Do good because, by the way, that's the only thing mentioned in my life review. And so now when everybody comes to ask me for money or a favor or help, I help them and I thank them later. I thank God, say, God, for me, it's God. Um, Thank you for giving me that opportunity to serve you. And years ago, I remember being with others who would say, when I wanted to reach in my pocket, give somebody money who's on the street, they'd say, "Why are you doing that? Don't give that guy money." It's none of my business what he does with the money. That's going to be his choice, his karma, his cause and effect, right? His cause and effect. But the fact is, to me, they're God testing me. Am I going to overcome that small-minded, tiny brain, little tyrant thinking and move into the limitless, where there is no judgment except for the lives you've touched? So go do good. Be in the moment. That's where you'll find miracles. Be here now. Have a good. Enjoy. Questions? Go to my website. Email me. Steve@stevelentini.com is my email. Steve@stevelentini, LENTINI.com. Glad to help. Thanks.